Scream 7. Let's review it.
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Mother!
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Anthwood Movie Mania, and Scream 7 is officially out so we can talk about it. This is a non-spoiler review because I've literally just came from the cinema to do this review. Well, actually that's a lie, because I went to the cinema, I went to Showcase Cinema. I did go to buy one of them Ghostface popcorn head buckets, but they were completely sold out, so I was fuming at that. So that just put a dampener on my morning. But I managed to see Scream 7, which we are going to get into. And then I didn't come straight back here, that's a complete lie, because I went to Pizza Hut straight after Scream 7 and I absolutely demolished the unlimited buffet, and I'm absolutely stuffed to the rafters full of pizza right now. So I do apologise if I seem a bit full. But this is a full non-spoiler review, so what we are going to be doing is I'm going to tell you as much as I can without revealing anything. So the story starts off with a couple. They visit the Stu Macher house, which you do see in the trailer, so I'm not really giving anything away there. And then they have a confrontation with Ghostface and stuff like that. But then the story does move on to a place called Pinewood, where Sydney is raising a family with a husband, Mark, who we get introduced to, and they have a daughter called Tatum, which again you do see in the adverts, which is being well advertised. But then the Ghostface attacks start happening because we see, but Sydney has tried to avoid her daughter getting involved into that life. She's being an overprotective mother, and she's like, right, I don't want you anywhere near that kind of life that I have had. I don't want all that trauma being put onto you, which in a way shouldn't have been Sydney's decision. It should have been her daughter's if she wanted to get involved, if she wanted to stay away. But then obviously all the Ghostface attacks start happening. We are introduced to Gail and Chad and Mindy. They're back into it, and it was good to see Chad and Mindy had a more they seemed more grown up in this film. They seemed, as from number 5 to now, we have seen them evolve. Like in each film, we've seen them evolve, like maturity, and now they are working for Gail, and as for a freelance, maybe as you could put it, is they're like trying to earn their way in the world, like through the news and everything like that. But then obviously we are introduced to Mark, Tatum, and Jessica, who is a next door neighbour, and her son. So we have all these new characters into this film, but they all play an important part. Like a few of them play quite an important part in this film. But then the direction of this film, apologies for my bad cough. The direction of this film, obviously Kevin Williamson directed this film, so you could tell that he's always wanted to do his own film. So he said everything he wanted to do, he has put into this film. So you could tell it was made with love, because the amount of effort that has gone into making this from Kevin Williamson's side. Because like I just said there, he said he wanted to put everything into one film. Was it too much maybe? I don't think so, because the film seemed to flow pretty good all the way through. So like there was no like stale bits anywhere. So that was good to see. The one thing I would say is, without spoiling anything, the reveal was a little underwhelming. I will say that. For the character or characters, or the one character, it might be one Ghostface or 2 or 3 or 4. I'm not going to give it away, but the reveal, it just seemed a little lackluster for me. The roles weren't big enough to play that kind of role in it to be revealed. But like, I'm not having a go or anything. I mean, it was fine. Like the reveal was fine. Like the motives behind it and everything that were fine. But then there are some certain cameos in it. I'm not going to give away who, but there are some certain cameos that have been confirmed in like previous interviews and everything like that. Like, you know that they're coming back. The way that they've done them, obviously nostalgia does play a massive part in this film. I'm not gonna lie. To have one certain character come back into it, so you know everyone is gonna love seeing this certain person back into this film. But I mean, it's great the way they've gone about it. Don't get me wrong. But for the other cameos that were in there, I honestly don't think they were needed. I really don't. As good as it was to see them again, I don't think they were a pointless cameo. I think they were really pointless. They didn't really like pack much punch to the star power that they had. It could have been so much better. I mean, my idea, I had an idea for these cameos to be in a flashback scene, and then that could have been the opening intro. Which, if you've checked out some of my other videos, then you'll obviously know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'll leave that there. I won't give too much more away. But for me, for a Scream 7 out of 10, I would give it a solid... Am I going to stay cheesy and say 7 out of 10? I think that's a bit cheesy, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Yeah, so for me, maybe 7.7, 7.5, I would say definite out of the full franchise. Definitely above. I would prefer this one over number 6. Now, again, New York gets heavily mentioned in this film. It does, it really does. Because Gail says to Sydney, like, you should have... I'm so glad you stayed out of the New York business because it was brutal. Which is true. Some of the deaths in that New York one was like, well, brutal as anything. But it was good to see number 6 referenced in this one too. But that's it. That's all I'm going to mention. This was a non-spoiler review, so I hope I haven't given too much away in anything, and I hope you all enjoy Scream 7. If you haven't seen it, get yourself down to see, because it was for me, it was a great watch. Like I said, it was a 7.5 out of 10 to watch. But yeah, it was a great entry in the franchise. Kevin Williamson did a great job. The chase scenes were great. The deaths were brutal on some of the deaths, my God. Yeah, Ghostface is back in a great way. I hope they continue this down the line. I did actually have the inside info on Scream 8 with Lee Waddell, the OG Ghostface. He did reveal to me back in November, that Scream 8 had already been greenlit. So I've known that for quite some time, so I'm actually glad I can get that out to everyone now. But that is it. That is my non-spoiler review for Scream 7. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below if you've seen it yet and what your thoughts on this review might be, or if you've got your own thoughts, please let me know. As always, I am Anthony Movie Mania. Please leave your likes, your comments, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I'll see you later.
I'll burn it all down.
Mother...
This is gonna be fun.